we've got a package. What is in the package? Let's have a look. Right. So here I have a Fitbit Inspire with heart rate, and basically you'll notice I'm not wearing my Fitbit. That's because mine broke, the screen broke, and I've had that Fitbit for over 5 years now, like 6 years. So I picked up a new one, and this basically does the same as what the Charge 2 did. They now have a Charge 4, but this one has, let's have a look. So it has 24/7 heart rate tracking, swim proof, track steps, distance and calories burned, Smart Track automatic exercise tracking, 15 plus exercise modes, pace and distance with phone GPS, sleep tracking, light, deep and REM sleep, smartphone notifications, and up to 5 days battery life. So let's have a look at it. Let's get it open. And I stuck with Fitbit, as Fitbits are what I have had it for ages. So I've got all the data on the app, and they are one of the better known brands, and I think they've also stood the test of time because they generally actually have good trackers. The thing is, we just need it to be consistent. It doesn't necessarily need to be anything special for what we're looking for. So this is the piece of kit. So it's pretty small. This is actually pretty cool. So this is just a USB charge, and this is magnetic. So it just clicks on like that, which is pretty sweet. Guys, I've got another box. Here's the box. It's actually very, very light. It's quite a big box. Let's see what's inside. Whoa. So this is, what flavour is that? Is that the cinnamon cereal milk? These are cool tubs, right? And we also have cereal milk. I have no idea what that means, the flavour is. I've seen good things about their flavouring and how tasty they are, and I just finished Perform or something. I can't even remember what it was called. I apologise. It was like a chocolate peanut butter, which was okay. I just now and then like to have a tasty protein on the go. I have one protein shake a day, and that's the highlight of the day, obviously. So yeah, I've had many good proteins, and I'd love to hear what your favourite proteins are. Definitely leave those in the comments, because I'm all for trying different ones. In the past, I've really enjoyed having True was always a huge one for me. I love that. And they had some really, really cool flavors. I don't know what other ones I've had in the past. My protein, obviously a staple, but they just don't taste quite as good. And yes, for me, whey, if you purchase it from a pretty well-known company, you can be pretty sure that they're gonna have their nutritional point. You can actually go to, like, I think it's Labrador or something, Labrador, I apologise. There's a website you can go on that kind of tells you how good the quality is and whether they've been tested and they work out okay. But I think if they're a big brand and a well-known company, they can't really afford to risk screwing any of that stuff up. So I just want to check the actual nutritional kind of macros on this. So this tub here has, per scoop, 1.5 grams of fat, which is relatively high fat for a whey protein, 4 grams of carbs, which is barely anything, 25 grams of protein, which is decent. And this is mostly whey protein, full protein disclosure. I think that's pretty cool that they have that. Ooh, that is an interesting flavour. That is incredibly tasty. In here I have 1 scoop of cereal milk and 200 mils of skim milk. It tastes like cereal milk. It sounds so stupid, because I was like, what the fuck is cereal milk? But it tastes like, you have like Frosties, and it tastes like that. Or like the milk that you have, like the sweetened milk at the end of Frosties, but it's kind of sweet, but then has like that slightly like cornflakey, savoury taste behind it. Cereal milk doesn't sound, to me, sound particularly appealing, but I just wanted to try it because out of interest. Guys, so I wanted to... Oh, shut up, Ada. So, I've got Ada on my lap because she's been a nightmare, and I can't record this video without her being a nightmare. So I wanted to come out up in here and just tell you how impressed I've been with Ghost. Like legitimately very, very impressed. Just because they're doing something that no other supplement company is doing at the moment, and that is like they are luxury. Everything down to the detail on the container. So and hopefully I'll get some shots so you can see as I'm taking you over the container. The lid is texturized, so the kind of logo is right in there. The actual printing that on the text, on the branding here, this is texturized, so you can kind of feel it. It's all very clear, very nice text, really nice bright colors. And then within the packet itself, when you open it up, the scoop's on the top, really easy to access. A lot of the time that's really like annoying and difficult to get the scoop out there. And then also what you have here is they have a loyalty scheme. So within the tub there's a piece of cardboard that's in like a piece of plastic so it doesn't interrupt anything. And within there are like loyalty points that you can enter onto a system, and it just feels like very, very nice, and like just everything down to the smell, the mixability, the container, like it's just a high quality, high end whey protein. And I haven't seen any company go to the level of detail that these guys have, and for that it was just worth experiencing it. So if you're used to having my protein bulk powders or any other like kind of cheaper quality, or not cheaper quality but cheaper style proteins where you're buying it in bulk and it's not luxurious, like getting just a tub of this just to experience what it's like, I do recommend it because it is very, very cool. I think they're a cool company for sure. I can see why people like them and like the products. They do taste good as well. So I wanted to talk you through that. I also wanted to talk you through my Fitbit, and so I've had it on for a few days now and I like it. So I mean, it's not very different to the other Fitbit, so I like the other Fitbit. This one I think is a little bit more stylish. I think the kind of font and the screen on it is a bit nicer. It's very sleek, so it's very small, it doesn't really do much. I have found probably it's a little bit better in bed for that reason, which I do like. And it seems to be, I haven't used it that long yet, so I don't know about kind of how reliable versus my past one it was, or how similar it's kind of accounting for things, but I'm sure it's very similar in the way it tracks stuff, as most of these tools are. So the reasons I use a Fitbit, the reason I use Fitbit is because that's the kind of brand that I went with from the get-go. They're a very well-known brand. They're probably the biggest out there in terms of activity trackers, or one of the biggest. And so that means they have to have decent technology in there, and I actually have been doing a bit of research into it anyway, but from the literature, like for step tracking at least, it's pretty reliable. It's very reliable, valid, it's fairly valid. More valid would be able to have a step tracker, like you'd wear like a pedometer on your waist. That would be a little bit more valid, but I don't care exactly how many steps I'm doing. I kind of refer to what I get here, the number I get on there is like meet points, because even if I do this, whilst it might count it as a step, I'm not even sure if it does. Certainly my old one did. It doesn't matter, that's still neat, right? I'm still expending energy, so it's good to have it for that reason. So I mostly use it for steps, also, and that's why I go with Fitbit, and also because they have the app, I can continue my data from the previous one, and I like looking back, like MyFitnessPal, you can look back at all your kind of previous history. It's quite cool to be able to have that. So I have that, and then also I use it as a watch. So I was tempted by the Whoop. I think that's cool. It's quite expensive though, because it's like a monthly recurring cost. I haven't looked into it much, but I know that part. But it's not a watch, it doesn't have a screen, and I do use this as my main watch. So I like having it as a watch. So steps, watch, and then that's the main things. Some additional things I do like is that it has a reasonably valid heart rate reading, and again, it's reliable, so I like seeing what my resting heart rate is doing, particularly during and if clients have that data available, I like seeing it. So if any of my clients watch this and they haven't been telling me they have that data available, tell me. I don't need it, but it's cool to see how your kind of resting heart rate responds to overreaching periods, deload periods, maintenance periods, kind of higher levels of body fat, lower levels of body fat. Just as an example, my resting heart rate drops like 10 beats after relatively soon going into a new diet. So I typically, what am I right now? My resting heart rate, well, I'm at 56 beats just sitting here apparently, but my resting heart rate is like low 50s, and then generally as I mass, it moves up to the high 50s, and I think I may have creeped into the 60s, and when I cut, it goes down low 40s, and I've dropped into the 30s before. So I like it for that, and also the sleep data could be cool. but we don't know exactly, and they're not that valid for sleep data. So I think it's nice for that. Oh, and the main thing I use it for, in addition to what I said, time, steps, is also the silent alarm, which kind of comes into sleep. If you sleep with a partner, then you want an alarm, maybe, although I typically wake up before my alarm, which I think is generally a good thing. You might not want to have an alarm that's blaring if they're getting up like an hour or so later. So Charlotte wakes up later than me, so I like having this because it has a silent alarm, so it just vibrates on my wrist, and that I have very rarely slept through that. I have at times, but I think that's a pretty unique and cool feature. Others might do that, but I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, as for the kind of the REM and all the sleep stages and things like this, deep sleep, and it gives you a sleep score. I think that could be something cool to track, but I want to know what people are doing differently when they're getting that data. Maybe you're trying different supplements. I'm not sure how valid that is, trying a supplement and then using the kind of sleep data that you're getting. Sure, it's better than nothing, but I generally just do my good job. I do a good job in terms of my sleep schedule, my sleep routine, my sleep hygiene, as per kind of the presentation I did. And then I get the sleep I get, and my quality rating is how do I feel in the morning. And then you can always do a sated score, which I went through on my presentation as well. But yeah, that's what I use the Fitbit mostly for, wanting to kind of get that to you guys. And also that is what I think of the Ghost protein powder. So this week from me and Ada, thank you for tuning in. Ada, say hello. Not strangling her. Actually, in other news, Ada has a luxating patella, and that operation is going to cost like $1,000. Yeah, get your insurance, folks, for pets, because those things are very expensive. This is my first ever pet. And Ada, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to get rid of her because it's way too expensive. No, yeah, we're going to have to sort something else. But it's a grade 2, it's not terrible, but she's very important to us. Anyway, so guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for bearing with me. Have a fantastic week. As always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. Any feedback is appreciated too. Take care, revive stronger, as always.